We tried something new to spice things up, but I didn't expect this. The past few months had been a comfortable routine for Jake and me. We were head over heels in love, but somewhere along the line, the flutter of new romance had transformed into the softness of habit. There wasn't anything wrong with our relationship. It was just predictable. One evening, as we lounged on the couch, the scent of takeout lingering in the air, I glanced over at Jake. He was flipping absent-mindedly through a streaming service, the blue light casting a soft glow on his handsome features. His usually animated face was drawn into a frown, and I could tell he was deep in thought. "What's on your mind?" I asked, nudging him gently. He looked up, a spark igniting in his eyes as he shifted closer. "I've been thinking about us, about spicing things up a bit." I grinned, my interest piqued. "Oh, what do you have in mind?" Jake leaned in, mischief dancing in his gaze. "I was thinking we could try something new, something adventurous, maybe some role-playing." My heart raced at the idea. I had always been curious about stepping outside our comfort zone, but we hadn't ventured into anything beyond the usual. "I'm intrigued." "What did you have in mind?" "Why don't we try a strangers in a bar scenario?" he suggested, his voice low and alluring. "We can dress up and pretend we don't know each other." The thrill of it could be exciting. The thought sent a thrill down my spine, igniting that familiar rush of adrenaline. "Okay," I agreed, biting my lip in anticipation. "But we'll need to go all out for this. Costumes, names, everything." We spent the rest of the evening planning our roles. Jake would be a charming businessman, and I'd play the sultry stranger. We even picked out outfits that would help us get into character. The day arrived, and as I stood in front of the mirror, I slipped into my tight-fitting black dress that hugged my curves just right. I paired it with high-heeled shoes that made my legs look endless and wore a bold red lipstick that made my heart race with confidence. Each step I took felt charged with anticipation, the air thick with promise. Jake was waiting in the living room, dressed in a crisp white shirt, his sleeves rolled up to reveal toned forearms and tailored trousers that accentuated his physique. When he saw me, his eyes widened in appreciation. "Damn, you look incredible," he said, a grin spreading across his face that made my heart flutter. "Ready to play?" I asked, my excitement bubbling over. "Absolutely. Let's hit that little bar down the street," he replied, taking my hand and leading me out the door. As we entered the bar, the lively atmosphere enveloped us. The dim lighting and soft music created an ambience of intimacy that felt electrifying. I glanced at Jake, who had transformed into his role flawlessly, exuding confidence and charm. With a quick nod, we split up, pretending as if we had never met. I sauntered to the bar, flicking my hair over my shoulder and leaning against the counter. I could feel Jake's eyes on me, and the thrill of our little game made my heart race. The bartender approached, and I flirted effortlessly while sipping a cocktail, feeling more liberated than I had in ages. I looked around, soaking in the scene, chatting with other patrons as if I were a total stranger in this lively world. After a while, Jake made his move. As he approached, I noticed the smirk on his lips, his eyes glinting with mischief. "Is anyone sitting here?" he asked, tilting his head slightly. "No, it's all yours," I replied, maintaining my sultry persona as I considered the handsome stranger in front of me. "Great. I'm Jake, by the way," he said, extending his hand. I took it, feeling the spark of electricity pass between us as we locked eyes. "I'm Vanessa," I said, trying to suppress a giggle as I relished in the dynamic of our little game. We chatted, flirting and teasing each other, the connection building as we shared playful banter. Jake pulled out all the stops, weaving tales of success in his career while I played the mysterious woman enchanted by his charm. It felt intoxicating, the thrill of our fantasy wrapping around us like a warm blanket. As the night wore on, I could feel the tension between us growing. It wasn't just about the roles we were playing. It felt like we were discovering new depths to our chemistry that had been buried beneath layers of everyday life. Eventually, Jake leaned in closer, his voice dropping to a seductive whisper. Want to get out of here? A thrill shot through me, and I nodded, excitement bubbling in my chest. We paid the tab and slipped out into the cool night air, our hands intertwined, both of us giddy from the experience. Jake leaned against the wall outside the bar, pulling me closer. You were incredible in there, like someone completely new, he said, his breath warm against my skin. You weren't too bad yourself, I teased, looking up at him through my lashes. The connection we had forged over the course of the evening felt electric. In that moment, something shifted. The playful banter melted away as he captured my lips with his. The kiss was intense, filled with the thrill of secrecy and desire. My heart raced as he pressed me against the cool brick wall, hands exploring the contours of my body. We melted into each other, lost in the heat of the moment. Jake's hands slipped down to my waist, pulling me against him, as if he wanted to devour me whole. I responded, wrapping my arms around his neck and deepening the kiss, losing myself in the delicious tension that crackled between us. But just as I thought the night couldn't get any better, I felt a sudden rush of adrenaline as I heard footsteps approaching. We broke apart, panting, and glanced toward the noise. A group of people walked by, laughter echoing into the night, blissfully unaware of the spontaneous moment of passion we'd just shared. Wow, that was intense, I said, breathless and exhilarated. Maybe we should take this back to my place, Jake suggested, his eyes darkening with desire. Are you sure you want to? With all the roles we've played tonight. Absolutely. I can't get enough of you, Vanessa, he said, the sincerity in his voice igniting a fire deep within me. We made our way to Jake's apartment, sharing heated kisses and whispers along the way. Once we stepped inside, the door barely closed before Jake had me pressed against it, his lips crashing down onto mine again, the intensity even stronger than before. Our hands roamed freely over each other, pulling at clothing, urgency building with each touch. I could feel the heat radiating between us, and for a moment, I forgot all about the role-playing and surrendered completely to the desire simmering in the air. Let's take our time, Jake said, his voice low and husky, pulling back just enough to look deeply into my eyes. But I want you, I breathed, feeling raw with anticipation. And you'll have me, he promised, but not before he pushed me back toward the bedroom, a wicked grin playing on his lips. The atmosphere shifted as we stepped into the bedroom, the soft glow of the bedside lamp illuminating the space. Jake pulled me close again, his hands exploring every inch of my body as though I were a masterpiece he had longed to uncover. As he pushed me onto the bed, his eyes darkened with desire. You're stunning, he whispered, his fingers trailing along my bare skin. I felt a wave of exhilaration rush through me as I watched him shed his shirt, his toned physique glowing in the muted light. Every muscle rippled beneath his skin, a testament to his strength and the desire that radiated between us. I needed him closer, so I reached out, pulling him down onto the bed with me. Our bodies tangled together, the warmth enveloping us as we kissed passionately, the world outside fading away. As I whimpered beneath him, Jake paused, his eyes locking with mine. Are you ready for this? He asked, his voice low and serious. I am, I responded, my heart racing, and I could tell he meant it not just physically but emotionally. In that moment, the roles we had adopted earlier dissolved completely. It was just Jake and me, fully present in our passion, ready to explore each other without any pretense. The night unfolded in a series of intoxicating moments that blurred together, a dance of lips and hands, teasing and exploring, uncovering every hidden inch of each other's bodies. We pushed each other's limits, losing ourselves in the heat of the moment, each kiss igniting a fire that threatened to consume us whole. The thrill of our earlier game had transformed into something deeper, something raw and exquisite. With each intimate touch, I discovered layers of desire I never knew existed until now. And as the night stretched on, I realized that the desire to spice things up had led us to an extraordinary climax, not just of passion but of connection that transcended the roles we had played. Eventually, we fell together into a blissful exhaustion, tangled in the sheets, the sounds of our shared laughter and whispers filling the room. I couldn't shake the feeling that this new chapter was exactly what we needed to reignite the flame and deepen our connection. As I drifted off to sleep, still feeling the thrill of our adventure, I knew that trying something new had transformed us. Not only had we discovered incredible pleasure, but we had also unearthed the passion and connection that made our bond stronger than ever. The night had been unexpected, thrilling, and delightfully dirty in every sense, exactly how it should be.